Kate. I actually wrote that on there, so I remember to say it. That's the kind of play that you're going to be the play that you're about to see is the very first one that I have ever written. And then people that have asked me about this show are mostly asking, what is it about? What's the overall theme? And to be honest, I hadn't really thought about a theme other than trying to just help shed some light on a pretty dark subject in a creative and hopefully entertaining way. So then I did think about it, and I guess the overall message and theme would be time. We only get so much of it, and the older we get, the more valuable time becomes. So what we choose to do with our time becomes all the more important. And the beautiful, talented people that you will see run around the stage in just a moment have donated time and love for this and for you.
Yeah!
That's just a small sample of it. Our cast spans 5 decades, maybe 6, but ladies never reveal their real age. So, our youngest cast member is 10 and has been with us since the age of 6. So make sure you show them all some love. Hey, you know what? Let's have a love off, okay? Hey, cast members, let me hear your love. Woo! Okay, let me hear your love. Let me hear your love. Okay. Not bad. Not Your Mother's Vagina Memoirs is an original play, like I said, and you are only the 3rd group to see it ever. You should totally clap for yourselves. Our cast is very impressed with your accomplishments, so thank you. Our group has been transforming through the twists and turns of about 10 years. You should clap for that. We came together all those years ago with a clear vision in mind to raise funds and awareness for ending violence against women and girls. It was a mission that Eve Ensler, the author of the Vagina Monologues, began in 1998. And it has been estimated that over $80 million has been raised since the movement. With over 12,000 community-based anti-violence programs and safe houses, with the Congo, Haiti, Kenya, Egypt, and Iraq receiving funding. In December 2015, 20 years after the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action, a UN woman co-organized a global meeting in Istanbul seeking concrete political commitments for active measures to end violence against women and girls. The executive director of the United Nations Population Fund was quoted as saying, "Today, there is no community in the world, no country in the world, not one, where women and girls live free from violence. Protecting women's rights to live in dignity, free from violence, requires our deliberate, urgent, and sustained action. And your presence here tonight puts in motion the vehicle for change. So thank you." Now some technical things. Cell phones, please silence them or put them on vibrate. Get it, vibrate? The bathroom, which gets mentioned a lot in the show, is that way. The exits, in case of exploding ovaries, which happens in this play also, is that way. So during intermission, we have silent auction in the back room right behind you. Please check that out, along with the bar. There's beer back there. Program things. I forgot to put an ad in when I was working on the program in the middle of the night. Lorenzo's Restaurant, which is in Fountain Hill. You should go there. We had someone drop out of our play Friday morning, which was the first day of our show, and it's the very first monologue. It's called Birth, and originally supposed to be played by Lisa Figueroa, and it will be played by Karen Toole. She received a frantic phone call from me, I think late in the night on Thursday, and just wait till you hear her. I can't even believe it.
Yeah!
No pressure. And lastly, please enjoy our little show. We've waited so long for this. Hello, little
ever seen. Is that a smile? I think it is. It's the most perfect smile I've ever seen. Hello. Oh, hey, Emily. Hey, kiddo.
Hi. How are you? What can you do?
Oh.
Oh, she's so beautiful. What's her name?
Eva.
Aw.
Eva Marie Dobson.
Did you count the fingers and toes?
Yep, all there.
10 little fingers and 10 little toes.
Oh, she's so beautiful. Eva Marie Dobson. Oh, I love it. Welcome to the world, little Eva.
The day you were born was one that I could not wait for, yet its arrival simultaneously scared me almost to death. I had no idea what to expect. I just knew that something was growing inside of me. That part I loved. I loved feeling your heartbeat, your little feet kick. I loved feeling you change positions. I felt like you might be a future acrobat or a dancer. You sure did love to move. I also knew that one day you'd have to leave. Exit the place where you first began your life, where you grew for 9 whole months. You would have to take flight, the first flight of many in your lifetime. I kept a journal, and in it, I wrote to you from the moment I knew of you. We had our first hello in that little yellow-bound book, now tattered and torn, well-loved. 9 months of wishes and notes and thoughts and prayers for you. More would come with the passage of time and fill the remaining pages. Then the day came, time to go to the hospital. I had my bag packed for weeks. We'd had a few false alarms, so I was prepared, really prepared. I grabbed my coat, my bag, and quickly ran to the yellow book next to the chair. I quickly wrote, "This is it. I will see you soon." I put the pen down, and as I neared the front door, I hesitated and turned. I went back to the journal and I wrote, "I can't wait to meet you again. This time from a different perspective. In a way, this feels like goodbye." Sounds kind of strange, I guess, when I say it out loud, goodbye. But when I think back to that time, right before heading to the hospital for an experience that would alter the very fabric of my being, I truly was saying goodbye. I was saying goodbye to a time that you were mine and mine alone. A connection that cannot be described in words, though I did try. A bond that would still be there to a certain degree, but would never and could never be the same. So while muttering the word hello as they placed you in my arms, I was saying goodbye to that. Holding you felt like being given the first place trophy at the end of a marathon. No, make that a double marathon. Yeah, a double marathon. I looked it up. It's 52.4375 miles. Yeah, that seems pretty comparable, yeah? Those first few moments holding you, I didn't speak. I couldn't speak. My body did a thing that, yes, a thing I expected it to do, but feared might shut down in the middle of it. And that vagina, my God, the vagina is nothing short of miraculous. What is the most powerful thing in the world? I searched on the computer, and the word that came across the screen was hypernova. Hypernovae are a more spectacular version of the supernova. They're a cosmic explosion generated by high-mass stars. That sounds about right, doesn't it? My vagina is a hypernova. Or at least it was that day. Am I right? When the nurse handed you over, when I held you for the very first time, I didn't want to let go, so I didn't. I was so tired and so hungry and so bandaged and so leaking and so happy. So happy. Those eyes, that face, feeling the warmth of your body in my arms, physically closer to my heart than you'd ever been. Then the nurse came back to take you down the hall. She wanted to take you to that place with a huge glass window where all the other babies are. I wouldn't and couldn't let you take her. She pleaded with me. It's not good for you with a baby. You'll need your rest. Your baby will be perfectly safe with the other babies. And you know what? She might have been right. I may have been wrong in not wanting to let you go, but I didn't hand you over. Probably a mistake on my end. Maybe the first mistake with you, and certainly not the last. We would journey through this life, and you would show me unbelievable kindness and honesty that I'm sure I'd probably known early on, but you would bring back that and so many other beautiful, wonderful things to the forefront of my life. You would teach me to laugh and to cry, to really, really cry. I would watch you succeed. I would watch you fail. And you would see me do the same, only from a different perspective. I would take note of your growth and your wisdom. I would bear witness to the multitude of times you would take chances and to the few times that you wouldn't. I would see your first tooth come in, and I would see the very last baby tooth wiggle its way out. I would see your very first steps, and I would watch you walk to your dorm room at college, marking one of the first times that you and I would be miles apart. Another goodbye. I would see and feel it all of it. All of it would come in time, and I could wait for it. So holding you for the first time, you took your very first breaths. You opened your eyes. You saw me as I had always wanted to be seen. How could I possibly let you go?
When you told me how beautiful I was and how I looked so much younger than my age, well, after I turned my head to see who you were talking to, I replied with, "Who, me? Yeah, right." I proceeded to point out all of my flaws. I got halfway through the top 10. Look at these bags under my eyes. I'm always so tired. And my hair, there used to be so much more of it. And did you see the wrinkle between my eyes on my forehead? Right here. I mean, what the heck is that? I can store stuff in this thing. Lots of stuff, you know. And look at this. My muffin top has muffin top. And the cellulite? Don't even get me started on the cellulite. I can't believe that this is my body. It's like craters on the moon. Speaking of the moon, my body is pretty much shaped like the moon and almost as big. You know I'm right. As I said this, as I rattled off the things that I hate about myself, you just stood there. You gave me this weird look, like you thought I was crazy, which kind of made me feel crazy while crazier. You interrupted me mid-explanation of how even Neil Armstrong could easily confuse my body with the actual moon. You said, "Stop." I said, "Stop? Stop talking? Oh yeah, that's another thing. I talk way too much. You're not the first person to tell me this, you know." "Stop," you said. This second stop was much louder than the first, which made me, well, stop. "What is it?" I said. "Is there something wrong?" You looked at me with those big blue eyes that were clearly filled with much thought and some serious concern. Felt like you just stayed looking at me that way. Felt like a long time, but maybe it was about 30 seconds, but 30 seconds could feel feel like an eternity when someone is staring at you and more than likely counting all of your wrinkles. You said, I know what you're thinking. You do? I said. You said, yeah, I do. The words you spoke next made me really, really think. You said, all of those things you mentioned, I see none of them. None. None. To me, you are the most beautiful woman in the world. In fact, you have such an enormous amount of beauty that just cannot be contained, that it seeps through your pores and leaves a trail of beauty wherever it goes. You have a laugh that calls to me and comforts me like sunshine. You have a grace and wisdom that I really wish were contagious, because I would love to have half of what you have. You understand and practice a level of kindness that I can't even begin to comprehend how you could be like that in a world like this. You have faith, make each day better than the previous one. Your faith in me is unshakable. You believe in me when no one in their right mind ever would. You have a strength that is unmatched by any other human that has ever lived. You are smart and sweet and giving and huggable and so, so lovable. If you were not in my life, well, I'd never learn anything. And lastly, you told me, you are humble to a fault. The hair, the wrinkles, and moon analogies, you said, the only person who sees these things is you, Mom. Wow, just wow. As mothers, we teach our daughters and sons to see these type of attributes that my daughter sees in me. But when someone gives us a compliment, what is that? Where does our mind wander off to? Deflection land? Now, I'm not saying we should go running around saying, I'm so wonderful. Do you know how wonderful I am? Let me explain it to you. Well, this might make for a great social experiment or a really viral YouTube video. It's not necessary. What is necessary, while still remaining humble, as mothers, it is imperative that we teach our daughters and sons to respect women. Really easy way to do this is to stop disrespecting ourselves. As women, if we want to stop being objectified, well, then we need to stop objectifying. I knew in that moment I was being taught a very valuable lesson by my daughter. Someone who might as well be made up of rainbows, sunshine, and unicorns. She is perfect. And for anyone to treat her as anything less than, or for my utterly amazing daughter to accept being less than, that would absolutely break my heart. I stopped when she told me to stop. I listened. I let it all sink in. I looked at her, and I knew that my reply would have to be the same one that I would want my daughter to have every single time someone tells her how absolutely wonderful she is. So, I said the only thing that was left to say. I said, thank you.
This is How to Protect Your Daughter. Show her how to have confidence in herself. One thing we all know about girls is their penchant for feeling a lack of self-worth.
Whether we are comparing ourselves to peers or to magazine cover models, we are forever criticizing our appearance and that on others.
Tell your daughter, you are beautiful, inside and out. Do not say you are always beautiful to me or in my eyes or anything like that. This is a clear and direct assertion of an incontestable fact.
It is rather staggering how quickly the world starts praising and judging girls on their appearance.
The message needs to be crystal clear. If the world starts telling you that you aren't beautiful, then the world is wrong.
An important corollary to this is fathers telling their daughters,
Your mother gets more beautiful every day.
the best thing a father can do for his children is to love their mother.
Teach her how to be her own person.
Everyone has that innate desire to feel accepted and liked. Teach your daughters that if you genuinely like yourself,
Accept yourself,
and appreciate yourself,
then others will naturally flock to you.
teach them that little inner voice telling them something feels off in a situation, then
You must listen to it.
teach her how to respect herself and others.
There are way too many teenage girls these days, obsessed with boys and finding a boyfriend.
Are girls not getting the self-validation at home and therefore need to seek it elsewhere? If your daughter does have a boyfriend, make sure that she's not feeling pressured to do anything she's not comfortable with.
Help her to have the confidence and courage to say no, and encourage her to talk to you.
If
She has respect for herself, then others will too. And if they don't, then at least she has the confidence to remove that person from her life.
teach her how to talk openly and honestly. One of the most important things between a parent and their daughter is to
Keep the lines of communication open.
Teenage girls especially tend to keep things bottled up inside, either because they feel too embarrassed to talk about it or they believe they can handle the problem themselves.
Don't be embarrassed or scared to talk to your daughters about even the most difficult of subject matters. Dad, this includes you too.
Teach them about makeup.
Oh, I can't even believe this is a thing. But it is. Okay, you know how you see teenage girls walking around caked in makeup?
Every single one of them doesn't need it to be beautiful.
Every
Single.
One
is
beautiful already. Mostly all girls like to experiment with makeup and rummage your mom's makeup stash. Right, Mom? Remember that?
experimentation is completely natural. Let your girls experiment at home.
But don't be afraid to offer some constructive criticism if we go slightly overboard.
Teach your daughter how to write a thank you note.
This is one aspect of society that seems to have taken a nosedive with the advent of the internet and social media.
Emails and responses on Facebook seem to be the norm these days as an effective form of written communication.
There is nothing nicer than receiving an official thank you in the mail.
Teach your daughter to
Dance like no one's watching. Mom, how many hours did you spend dancing in front of your mirror and singing into your hairbrush? I know it happened. Up, up, up. Grandma told me.
Teach your daughter not to be afraid of letting out her pop star
Or rock star.
Or a heavy metal star.
Besides being so fun, it's also a great way to release tension and blow off a little bit of extra steam. Oh yeah! Hit it!
Tell your daughter, I love you no matter what you do or what happens to you, even when I get angry or sad.
This goes for both mom and dad, but it is imperative for fathers to reinforce this for their daughters that
They are loved unconditionally. Dad, your relationship with me sets a tone for how I will expect to be treated in every relationship I will have when I start dating.
Tell your daughters that her hugs and kisses belong to her and are hers to give or not. It's amazing the degree to which people, men and women alike, demand affection from small children,
Especially girls.
With a bit of foresight, one can see how instilling an obligation to give affection can have serious consequences down the road.
While it may be perfectly sweet and appropriate to ask for a hug or kiss, girls need to be taught they don't have to give them out to be accepted or feel loved.
And parents should be unflinching in standing up to adults who insist upon affection from their daughter.
Teach all children that it's not okay to hit,
Kick,
Or fight.
except there may be times when you absolutely need to.
hit,
Kick.
And fight.
Unfortunately, it is crucial that girls and women be prepared for the possibility of a physical confrontation.
If you want to truly protect your daughter, you must continuously support the message that
She,
Not you.
or anyone else,
she owns her body. And if you want your daughter to be confident and free to pursue her own aspirations,
give her opportunities to experience the world outside of gender assumptions.
But above all else, let her know that
She
is
loved.
no matter what.
I'm going to tell you a story. It's about the clothes we wear, the people that make them, and the impact the industry is having on our world. The price of clothing has been decreasing for decades, while the human and environmental costs have grown dramatically. Let's pull back the curtain on the untold story and ask ourselves, who really pays the price for our clothing? It's called fast fashion, the cheap clothing that we buy, wear, and then discard. Gotta keep up with the current trends, right? From done-up denim to stand-out sequins, there are tons of wearable fashion trends for the summer 2016 collection. Stripes and gingham for work? Check. Sequin dresses and cold shoulder tops for a night out on the town? Yes. Casual denim looks for weekend brunches and daytime events? You betcha. The best part of these new trends? They're totally real-life wearable. Get inspired and start planning your outfit ideas for summer now. Over the past 2 decades, fashion has changed thanks to this new phenomenon of fast fashion. And now we have a situation where, as consumers, we are caught in an absurd cycle of micro-trends. Think about it. New clothing has a shelf life of around 2 mini seasons a week in stores. Disposable clothes that stay in a woman's closet for an average of just 5 weeks before being thrown out. All in the name of the democratization of fashion. In reality, this evil machine is exploiting everyone and everything. The consumer, the planet's resources, and especially the people who produce them. Each year across the world, 1.5 billion garments are sewn by an estimated 40 million people working in 250,000 factories. And these are predominantly made in countries described by the UN as the world's least developed. All in all, the garment and textile industry is worth some $3 trillion. And the bulk of that, well, that goes into the pockets of the owners of the fast fashion brands. It's a complicated mess we're in. When production is outsourced to poor countries, they are enslaved by an addiction to the idea of enrichment. That is when corporations start driving down the production costs with volume. And like any good pusher, they offer their potential clients a great deal, only to get them addicted. And once they've succeeded, well, they're in the driving seat. In case of poor economies, they addict them to the idea of lifting their people out of poverty, when in fact, they're like the big bad wolf, lying in wait for the dependency to start. And their citizens get enslaved by the same machine. While they operate as distributors, they also get consumers addicted to the idea of always faster, ever cheaper, despite the human and environmental cost. It's the old problem, out of sight, out of mind. It happens really far away. So we don't see it. The International Labor Organization has estimated that 250 million children between the ages of 5 and 14 work in developing countries. 7% in Latin America, 32% in Africa, and 61% in Asia. Many of these children are forced to work. They are denied an education and a normal childhood. They are confined and beaten. Some are denied the right to leave the workplace and go home to their families. Some are even abducted and forced to work. Little children in the carpet industry are prized for their small, fast little fingers. Defenseless, they do what they're told, working in dark, airless village huts from sunrise until well into the night. The truth is, all of the American consuming industry is polluting our planet, killing women and children, and basically destroying life in so many ways. Farmlands are being drenched in pesticides, resulting in unimaginable birth defects in India. In Bangladesh, the Rana Plaza building collapses because the building owner cannot afford to keep it up to code. Buildings like this are coming down more and more. That building claimed more than 1,100 lives, and the people that are in those buildings are working for pennies a day. Single mothers with their children, their babies, lying at their feet. Children slaving away in these sweatshops. They're all dead, all of them. They're all dead. And for what? For what? So that I can wear a new dress to the party? So that I can fill my closet and my home with tangible items? Asinine. It's bullshit. And believe me, I had no idea that my shopping habits affected so many people around the world. On payday, I would run to the mall. I'd run. All the pretty patterns and colors. I was sucked in like pretty much every other girl and woman in America. But then I watched a documentary called The True Cost. It's on Netflix. Look it up. The True Cost. I watched this film and it opened my eyes to crimes I had no idea I was committing. So then I stopped. In this life, we can make a change. In this particular case, we have to do it with our dollars. If you have to buy new things, carpet, clothing, furniture, make sure that you buy from people who treat their employees with compassion. Buy things that are ethically made. Look for things that are made locally, that are organic. All of these things, trust me, they all make a difference. If we say what we want with our dollars, with our buying power, our voices will be heard. Our planet and the people that inhabit it will begin to take shape. We can help each other globally just by making informed choices. Or you can close your eyes and your ears to this and go on. But in the end, at the end of your story, will it be worth the cost? please check out the auction that we're having, the silent auction. There's chocolate vagina pops, everyone's favorite, and beer. So, see you in 15.
In the movies, there's a guy and a girl. The guy falls for the girl in like the first 5 minutes of the movie, usually. She falls back. Someday. There's some dancing and romancing. He tells her she's beautiful. She blushes. They go on date after date after date, and sometimes things go really smoothly, but it's been my experience that a breakup or two has to happen.
You think I'm fat? It's over!
The guy is really lonely. He eats a lot of pizza, like a lot. He goes out with his friends, she goes out with her friends. He dates other people, she dates other people. And then one day, he finds out that she's getting married, and it breaks his heart. He wants to get her back, so he tells his friend, I want to get her back, man, I love her.
I know you don't, man. You should know what she's missing out on.
I just feel like I can't live without her.
Believe me, I know the feeling. So what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna crash the wedding. Here's the plan. When the priest says, if there is anyone here who feels that these two should not get married, speak now or forever hold your peace. And that'll be my cue. I'll run in and proclaim my undying love for her. Seriously? Seriously.
It's beautiful. Oh my. She'll come running down the aisle. She'll jump up in your arms. And you two can go to the next church over. Oh, gotta get help out. Do you think I could drive the getaway car?
That'd be awesome. I was hoping you would help. So the two guys plan, and maybe there's beer involved. There usually is. They figure out all the details, and then the fateful day comes. They get to the church.
Good luck, buddy.
Thanks, man. This is gonna be so great.
I know it is. What could go wrong?
No. The guy waits to hear it.
Should not be married. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
I do. I feel that these two shouldn't be married. I love this woman. I have since the moment I laid eyes on her. And my heart felt something it had never felt before, and it was at that moment that I knew what love was. She doesn't love this man, she loves me. I know with every atom in my body that she and I are meant to be together, and ever until death us do part.
Oh, Michael, I love you. Let's get out of here.
So the two run off together, and in movie land, they live happily ever after. But that's the movies. This is real life. There's a guy and a girl. Thank you. The two eventually do fall in love, but it takes months, maybe years to get to that point. They date for several years, and things are going pretty well. They move in together. But the guy doesn't want to get married. He just doesn't. He likes going out drinking with his friends, and so does his girlfriend. He feels that if they got married and possibly had a family, it might ruin their good times.
Someday, when
The girl's gotten to an age where she feels like her ovaries are going to explode or something. She sees her friends getting married and having babies, and she convinces herself she wants these things too. She pressures him and pressures him and pressures him until finally she leaves. It's over!
guy is so relieved. Like, really, really relieved. He can go out with his friends whenever he wants now. He doesn't even have to wear pants. He usually does. He goes out with his friends, she goes out with her friends. He dates other people, she dates other people. But then, one day, as the guy is sitting on his couch in his underwear eating pizza, it hits him. He misses the girl. So he tries to track her down, and in doing so, finds out that she's getting married. And his heart is broken. He wants to get her back. So he tells his friend. I want to get her back, man. I love her.
I know you do. She don't know what she's missing out.
I just feel like I can't live without her.
Believe me, I know the feeling. So what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna crash the wedding. Here's the plan. The priest is gonna say, if there's anyone here who feels that these two should not get married, speak now, or forever hold your peace. And that'll be my cue. I'll run in and proclaim my undying love for her.
That's idiotic, man. What do you think she's got to tell you? We're running down the aisle. In your arms. So you got the next church over?
Yeah.
What do you think I give you a thumbs up for this thing? You don't want me to help and plan this, did you?
Well, yeah. I was hoping you would help. So the one guy plans. Maybe there's beer involved. There usually is. He works out all the details, and then the fateful day comes. He gets to the church.
This is a mistake, buddy.
Thanks, man. This is gonna be so great.
No, it isn't. Everything's gonna go wrong.
The guy waits to hear his cue.
If there is anyone here who feels that these two should not be married, speak now or forever hold your peace.
I do. I feel that these two shouldn't be married.
I don't love you. Get out of here.
I love this woman. I always have since the moment I laid my eyeballs on her.
Oh, for God's sakes, get out of here. Can somebody make him leave?
Something in my heart changed.
You don't even have a heart. Can somebody call the police?
No, I know it with my atoms that we're meant to be. You don't love this woman.
Yes, I do.
No, you love me.
No, I don't.
I know it. I know it deep within my soul.
You are the worst. The worst. Ruined my wedding.
And that's the difference between real life and the movies.
You said that you loved me, so I believed you. You said that I was the one for you. It sounded real. Maybe it was real. I certainly believed it. I think you did too. You wanted me. It was the first time someone really wanted me, wanted all of me. This was new. This was different from anything that has ever happened to me, for me, or in me. I liked it. I liked the way it felt. I liked the way I felt. Oh, I liked the way you felt pressed against me. Oh, I could smell your skin. I mean, I had smelled your skin before, but I could really, really smell it this time. So close. You were so close. I didn't think you could get any closer. I didn't think it was possible. I mean, I had read about this moment, and I knew how it could happen, and I knew it would eventually happen. But I wanted to wait until I was married. So funny, looking back now and riding that wave of thought. But I did. I wanted to be married first. And so you told me that you wanted to marry me, and that we would be married. But you wanted to wait until we were 21 to get engaged. That made sense, so I agreed. You would be my first, my last, and my everything in between. Other girls my age told me about their experiences. They all had so many experiences. They were experiencing. I wasn't jealous of them or of their stories. To be honest, I felt sorry for them. They were so young. We were so young. It seemed to move too fast. And I knew those girls would be passed along from boy to boy to boy to boy. I don't know how I knew that, but I did. I knew. As for myself, no, not me. That wasn't going to happen to me. I wouldn't be passed along. I couldn't be passed along. I could never have handled that. I could never have handled that. I wanted to be special. You made me feel like I was special. You made me feel for the first time. You made me feel and hear and listen and think and see. You made a promise to me, a promise of you. With you, I saw things for the first time. The sky, the world, life. I saw all of these things in a whole new way. I heard the birds sing and I sang with them. I felt your heartbeat right next to mine. I had never felt that before. So close, so real. Two hearts separated by bone and skin and yet beating in unison. I had never felt that before. I had never felt that before. And then it was over. You were gone. You left. I stayed. I waited. I knew what we had. I knew it was real. I certainly felt it. I think you did too. So I waited. You would come back. How could you not? I waited and waited and waited. Weeks turning into months, turning into years, I waited. And when I felt like I couldn't wait any longer, when I felt I had to move on, when I felt like you really, really weren't coming back, I waited still, saving myself for you. One day, I wrote you a letter. I mean, over the weeks and months and years, I wrote you letters. Of course I wrote you letters, tons, asking why, how, who was she, what did she have that I didn't have? But all those letters, the ones with all the rants and the questions, they were for me. They were never meant for you to ever actually read. But one day I wrote you a different letter. I actually put postage on it. This one was meant for you. I walked to the corner, to the mailbox, my heart racing, my mind saying, oh, this is probably a bad idea. My heart's saying, well, I have to try. I have to give it one last try. I mailed the letter. I actually mailed the letter. I knew when you received it, you'd read it, and you'd remember me. You'd remember us. You would read all the way down to the bottom where I wrote, please meet me where we used to take our walks. And you would know exactly where I would be waiting. Oh, we made so many memories in that park. You would know exactly where I would be waiting. When the day came, the day to drive to the park, oh, I was nervous and I was excited, mostly excited. I couldn't wait to see you. I brought tissues. I knew I would need them. No matter how this ended up, I knew I wasn't getting out of this without shedding some major tears. Oh, I could not wait to see you. But you never came. You never met me. I waited in that park for hours. At this point in my life, I was very skilled at waiting. But something happened that day in the park. I thought to myself, what am I doing? I had put my life on hold for years. Years of hoping and wondering and waiting. For what? What was it really for? And I thought to myself, no more. You know, I was so caught up in the idea of you that I forgot to be me. I wasn't living, I was waiting to live. So I said, this is it, no more. This is the day I start to live. This is the day I begin my life. I stood there in that park with all sorts of memories and reminders of you. And I smiled. For a long time, I just stood there and smiled. It wasn't your fault for moving on. It was my fault for not. Young love. Such a beautiful, wonderful, pure, and tricky thing.
Every day I drive these kids to school with makeup on and I yell at them to knock it off! Yeah, knock it off. Or is it the other way around? Do I do the yelling first? I can't remember. But all of these things happen. The yelling and the makeup and the driving. All of these things happen in the car on the way to school. Sometimes I pray for red lights. This is rare though. I only pray for red lights when I've left the house at the correct time. Again, this is rare. Why? 3 girls, 1 bathroom. Are you kidding me? 1 bathroom? That's how I know the universe has a sense of humor. Very funny. Good one. 1 bathroom. Hysterical. When these girls are grown and out of the house, I'm going to start dining in that bathroom. My office in there, take phone calls from the loo. I set up shop in there and never ever leave. Ever. Eva Marie Johnson! Put your seatbelt back on and sit down in your seat! Ugh. I think about that bathroom often. Probably too often. But on those rare occasions when I'm calling on a higher power to throw me a red light, on those magnificent days, I look amazing. I mean, really good, I do. It can get a little clockwork orange going on when I'm applying and driving. Or appliving, as the girls like to say, always combining their words.
Mom, no one says appliving.
I like to tick them off. But it really is easier to put mascara on at a red light. If you don't know what I'm talking about, God bless you. If you've been able to get out of your house on time, fully clothed and made up, consider yourself lucky. Bella, stop hitting your sister.
She started it.
Really, Alex started hitting herself.
Actually, I did.
What's wrong with you, Alex?
Please start taking an Uber to school. This is so annoying.
Eva, nobody Ubers anywhere until they're at least 30 years old.
30? That is so old. Mom, no offense, but you'll probably be dead by then.
So what, Bella? God, please don't let me be dead by then. I just want to get in that bathroom. By the time my youngest is 30, I'll be 61. 61! Jeez, that seems like a lifetime from now. Oh, wait, it's because it is. But in this lifetime, the one we're living in now, we drive. We drive, we yell! I put my face on, get these kids to school, and myself to work. That's what we do.
Philip was a typical teenager. In his 20s, Philip emerged from his shell, got married, and had 2 sons. His parents were proud of him, of the family he had established, of the values he had taught his children. During his 30s, he was promoted to a new position in his company every 2 to 3 years. More money, more stress, more travel, more responsibility. One day when Philip was on the road, his wife got a call from the police. Her husband was 4 states away and had been arrested for child molestation. By now, Philip was 43. His wife remembers smiling on the phone. She imagined how she and Philip would laugh about this mistake. She thought of telling the story. Can you imagine poor Philip, the most conservative man in the world, and how their friends would laugh? She repeated her husband's name over the phone. This time she included his middle name. She spelled out his first, middle, and last name. His wife was sure it was someone else with a similar name. After she was convinced that it was her husband, that was indeed the Philip in custody, her next emotion was fury. Who would falsely accuse a fine man like her husband? Would the lawyer's fees bankrupt him? What would his boss say? After 20 years of marriage, she knew Philip. Knew he was the last man in the world who would ever be capable of doing something like this. But did she know Philip? Like most people, Philip's wife, when she considered child molestation at all, thought of it as only a sin or a crime. And her husband simply wasn't a criminal. He never even had a traffic ticket. He was a regular, hardworking man with a great sense of responsibility. He was religious. He was like many husbands, concerned for his family's safety. He was their protector. Through the months that follow, Philip's wife and parents received several shocks. Yes, he confessed. He sexually molested a 10-year-old girl who accused him, the daughter of a man who had been his friend since high school. Then they found out there had been other victims. He had molested 23 little girls and 1 little boy. The number included 2 nieces, one the daughter of his wife's sister and the other daughter of his own sister. He also molested several daughters of close friends. His 2 nieces he had molested over a period of years. Both nieces kept the secret from everybody in the family. In further shock to his family, he also confessed that when he was 17 and she was in grade school, he repeatedly molested his stepsister, who never told anyone. The little boy that Philip abused was a neighbor. The prevalence of child sexual abuse, or CSA, is difficult to determine because it's often not reported. Experts agree that the incidence is far greater than what is reported to authorities. CS survivors are 3 times more likely to suffer from depression, 6 times more likely to suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, 13 times more likely to abuse alcohol, 26 times more likely to abuse drugs, 4 times more likely to contemplate suicide, 50 times more likely to be raped as an adult, 39 times more likely to be a victim of domestic violence. Long-term effects include difficulty in forming long-lasting relationships, sexual risk-taking that may lead to contracting sexually transmitted diseases, including AIDS, depression, suicidal thoughts, suicide. Links to failure in the immune system and to increases in illnesses, hospitalizations, and early death. According to a recent National Institute of Justice report, 3 out of 4 adolescents who have been sexually assaulted were victimized by somebody they knew. When Philip was a child, his neighbor had molested him repeatedly, and he never told anyone, not one soul. When Philip turned 17, he merely continued the cycle.
I found this really cool app on my Aunt Sharon's phone. It's called Tinder. It's so awesome! All the single grown-ups are doing it. So if you're looking for that special someone based solely on physical appearances, Tinder is here to help, and so am I.
Tinder. Okay, instead of creating a profile from scratch, you actually just link your Facebook account to Tinder and voila, you're all signed up. And while that may sound like a questionable idea, there's so many positive reasons to use Facebook for your Tinder profile. Facebook just about ensures that the profiles you're viewing are for real. Dating is already pretty difficult, so making sure you're doing it with an actual human is a really, really good thing. Unless you're a cyborg or an avatar, then you should be on IWantThingsThatAren'tReallyReal.com. That's all one word. By using Facebook, Tinder pulls in your latest photos and saves you a ton of time. I do suggest editing your photos. There's another app on my phone that can make a picture of her that looks like this. One that looks like this. But that's a whole different conversation. The Tinder Facebook login also pulls in all of your info, every last little thing that you've ever posted. Again, saving you an enormous amount of time. Time you could be using to get Botox, a facelift, or even a tummy tuck. All things that could greatly improve your swiping status on Tinder. Which leads us to one of the reasons why Tinder is so popular. It's something that is commonly referred to as the swipe. The swipe indicates if you like or don't like someone. Here's how it works. You see their picture and you judge them based on their physical appearance. You swipe left on their picture if you don't like them, or you swipe right if you do like them. Wouldn't that be great if it worked that way in your life? I like you. I don't like you. But save your right swipes for the ones that are so good looking you can barely stand it. Why, you ask? Well, apparently, Tinder allows you to think that there are unlimited amounts of people that are not good looking enough for you. You're just gonna be old left swipe. You could left swipe all day. So many unattractive people out there, am I right? But those right swipes, hold those right swipes dearly. If you swipe right too many times, you have to wait 12 whole hours till you can swipe right again. Think of all the gorgeous looking people you can miss out on. So remember, only swipe right if someone's profile picture looks like it's the answer to all of your hopes and dreams. And once you make it past judging people by what they look like, you get into their profile. Now you can view additional photos. Their Instagram, their Facebook, their friends' friends, find out where they work, get their home address, all kinds of great information. Moving on. So you've swiped right on a few profiles and nothing has happened. In the wise words of a great movie character, here's some sad advice. Are you crying? There's no crying in baseball! Swiping right sends a message to the swipey, basically saying, hey, think a lot of people are ugly, but not you! I'm not sure what you're like as far as a personality or compatibility go. But what I do know is that you are aesthetically pleasing. And that's enough for me. Now that same person also has to swipe right on your profile. If they do, you're matched. It's so awesome. It quickly makes you realize how good looking a stranger thinks you are. It's so exhilarating. Once you're matched with that special someone, you'll be placed into a chat room. Here's where it might get a little tricky. Here's the part where you can't rely on your looks to get you through. Here's where you engage in an actual cyber conversation. I suggest opening with original lines. Be creative, or Google something someone smarter than you said. Because you need to call attention to yourself. So consider witty opening lines. Here's some that you might want to use. Is your dad a terrorist? Because you're the bomb! I wish I were cross-eyed so I could see you twice. If I had to choose between one night with you or winning the lottery, I would choose winning the lottery, but it would be close. But first and foremost, remember that your first pick is the most vital because that's what everyone sees. It's what gets you off the bench and onto the field. Your first pick is like the front of a restaurant or shop. You want to entice the customer, get them in and get them looking so that they buy the product. And that product is you. So make sure it's a good one. And if you take bad picks, just remember to Photoshop the heck out of them. Make them unrecognizable if you have to. Because you want that right swipe. You need that right swipe. Sorry. Oh, and if your pictures are so unbelievably gorgeous, you may even get the super like. The super like feature lets you tell someone you like them even before they swipe your profile. This is amazing! You get one super like every 24 hours. So use them wisely. And if you sign up for Tinder Plus, you get up to 5 super likes per day. 5 per day? Tinder is a dating app that has exploded in popularity across the globe. It's used in the US and all over the world by more than 50 million narcissists. Sorry. I meant people. 50 million people, with 10 million of them seeking self-affirmation and validation daily. Sometimes checking the app 11 times per day. That's 11 more reasons per day to take incredible selfies. 77 more reasons per week to play stock in looks that really don't mean anything and fade over time anyway. 2,310 more reasons per month to become even more egocentric than you were even before this app. 27,720 more reasons per year to never, ever stop looking at your phone. Thank you, Tinder. You get us. You really get us.
Oh, remember the dance we used to see? So much fun.
Oh, the boys would line up to dance with you.
Oh, no, they didn't.
Oh, yes, they did.
Well, they danced with you, too.
Well, somebody had to take the leftovers.
Robbie Johnson, he had a real crush on you.
Yes, I remember. I married him.
Oh, I almost forgot.
Wish that I could forget.
Okay.
Oh, I'm just joking. Robbie was a wonderful man. Speaking of family, how are your girls?
Oh, they're good, all doing really well. Let's see, Eva and her husband, they have 2 boys. I think you knew that. They're in Seattle. And Alex, Well, she never married, although she did try the Tinder. But she has a big, important job in New York City. And my Bella, she and her husband just have the one girl, Amy. She turned 16 last month.
Wow, 16. You know, I remember the day that she was born. Amy was the most beautiful baby I have ever seen. And don't take this the wrong way, but much better looking than all three of your girls combined. Really, just the best looking person in your entire family. No.
I'm only slightly offended.
So, Bella, where is she living these days?
She's still in Florida. Her husband's family's from Fort Lauderdale, and I used to think they'd move back to Pennsylvania, but they've been there so long, I don't see them moving now or anytime soon.
Wow. So, Seattle, New York, and Florida. Wow, they all moved really far away. Well, at least you can get in that bathroom now.
Oh, my God. Sometimes I can't get out.
Well, they're really spread out too. How do you get to see your family? I mean, do you even get to see them?
I do all the time on the computer.
On the computer? Oh, they send you pictures through the emailing.
No, not the emailing. There's this thing called the FaceTime.
It's called Facebook. Oh, jeez. You are a cat.
Not the Facebook, the FaceTime. You set it up on your little computer thingy, and it's like watching a TV show, but it's live and you can interact with each other.
Okay, that doesn't even make any sense. How do you see them? How do they see you? Is there some kind of magic screen or something? Are you sure you're not just so lonely that you're sitting at home talking to family portraits on your meds?
No, it's a real thing.
Have you been taking your meds?
Yes, it is a real thing. So whoever I'm FaceTiming with has a little camera on their computer thingy, and I have a camera on mine.
Oh,
That's how we see each other.
That is not safe. I've read about cameras on computer things. Criminals can hack into your system and watch you walk around the house in your skivvies. Knowing you probably dance around the house in your skivvies.
I don't do much dancing anymore.
Well, you know what? We should change that. Instead of you sitting at home talking to photographs, you should go out dancing like old times.
Well, FaceTime is a real thing, but I don't know about dancing anymore. Where would we even go to do that? I'm not going to one of those nightclubs. That's not even real music. Do you hear what the kids are listening to these days? What is that?
I really wish I knew. To be young again. I think we may have taken it for granted. How does time move so fast? Talking about real time, not this face time. How in the world?
Not exactly sure.
Well, I gotta get going, Emily. I gotta feed Robbie.
Catherine, Robbie's been dead for 20 years.
No, not Robbie, my husband. Robbie, my cat. A few months ago, I got a cat and named him Robbie. It's just nice to call out his name again and hear someone come running. You know? See you, kiddo.
Yeah, I do know. Eva, Alex, Bella.
these shoes up here. Okay. This was our final performance for the show for 2016. So tonight is like the Oscars for us, so please just bear with us. Going back to the issue of time, we must use some now to acknowledge the magic that you've just witnessed. So let's start with our youngest, Alex. Alex. I wish you were cross-eyed so I could see her twice. Alex has such a heart. If we could physically see it, it would fill up this entire building. And Alex is one of the daughters of my best friend. So she's had the unbelievable honor of knowing me since she was about 3 years old. 3 years old? That's amazing! And even at that age, I could tell that she had something really special. So if we could use magical Tinder powers in real life, I'd swipe right when Alex. Bella! How amazing is this child? Bella has also been very fortunate to know me since she was a little tiny peanut. I worked with her mother many years ago, and that's how I got to meet Bella. And about 7 or 8 years ago, I had wanted to be a photographer, and like most things that I've tried in this life, I learned as I went. In other words, I had no idea what I was doing. So I wanted to do a photo shoot and I needed to practice on someone. And well, that's all I had to say. Isabella showed up, full makeup, hair done, a cute little outfit, a little purse, and she started voguing for me. As a full-grown woman, I must admit, she intimidated me. At one point, she pulled out a plastic cell phone and said, "Just take a few of me on the phone so you have some variety." I was like, okay. Bella has always been and forever will be a pro. She gives everything she does 110%. To me. She is the other daughter of my best friend, so we go way back too. Eva is an incredible artist, a great singer and musician, and a wonderful actress. She's also a brilliant writer when she's not being lazy. She occasionally hangs out with me at the gallery where I work, and those are my favorite days. Mostly because I make her buy me ice cream. I'm just kidding. Eva's heartbeat is the pulse of this show, and this show was for you. You are smart and sweet and giving and huggable and so lovable. And if you were not in my life, well, I would never learn anything. My God, right? Aubrey just had a big chorus audition and she blew everyone away. Now she's in an elite traveling chorus group. Am I right about that?
Touring choir.
Yeah, touring choir. This girl is humble to a fault. You have such an enormous amount of beauty that it starts on the inside and it just cannot be contained. So it seeps through your pores and leaves a trail of beauty wherever you go. You are so kind to everyone you meet. You are a tremendous talent on the stage and the biggest helper behind the scenes. She was doing hair, helping with quick changes, doing makeup, particularly Alex's makeup, helping with props, cheering people on, and I heard her tell everyone, all of us individually, how beautiful we all were. And like everyone else, I absolutely loved being around you. Years ago.
Two.
They all blend together. She was an audience member who had a special bond with one of our castmates, and I was told this year if I needed someone, Rosalie would be more than happy to be a part of this performance and this movement. She lives in Delaware?
Maryland.
So in order for us so much life to the monologue that she performed, for sure. It was performed. Exactly like I had pictured it in my head. What an amazing talent. And besides nailing it every single time, she literally nailed other things too, like the stage. And she's been such a gift to this group. So thank you. For this show. Not only did she step up to the plate in the 11th, maybe 14th hour, she owned that piece. And I have known Karen for almost 10 years. Getting sweaty, sorry. Thanks. When I met her, I secretly wished that one day when I grew up I would be just like her. At this point, I don't think I'll ever grow up, but that's okay, because as I've come to know and love you through the years, I've realized that being young at heart is your gift to this world. You inspire me to be a better human, and our friendship has been a really amazing ride. You're such a gift to this play, sent from above, and all I can say is, Hallelujah! Almost through, okay, Johnny on the spot! Ridiculous. He is the secret weapon that I use whenever I have the opportunity to do so. I met him about 4 years ago on this very stage, and he and I were going to play together when I played a man very convincingly. Johnny played a 16-foot woman. Again, very convincingly. He was fully made up, hair, makeup, size 47 high heel, and a red dress. A sign from the universe, indeed. I gravitated towards Johnny like every other human on this planet, and one day I pitched him this idea, hey, you want to be in a vagina show? and 3 years later... 3 years later, we're still at it. The difference now is that I don't have to pitch anything to him. I usually get a text from him a few months before showtime asking me if he can be part of it again. He's always so willing to give of himself. I love sharing the stage with you. You make it look so easy. Because of her drive and dedication, we are all in this room here. That I'm allowed to know such an incredible human being. She organized just about everything that needed to be organized. I threw a ton at her, I always do, and she does things so perfectly. Emily was the foundation for this play. She was the one that held it all together. The skit about the difference between real life and a movie, I didn't have anyone that I could ask to play the role of Michael's girlfriend, and I didn't want to ask Emily to do this. When realistically, she would have been the only viable option to play Johnny's counterpart, besides Bill. But it turned out that I didn't have to. All I had to say, well, whoever winds up playing this character gets to slap Johnny. She totally took the bait. So she continues to be a quiet, steady, kind voice in what sometimes can be a very noisy world. Don't take this the wrong way, but out of your entire family, you're my favorite. No offense. No offense. And then there's Bill. William Gibson. Bill is
the anonymous program.
Bill is the bravest person I know. Who offers to come out and just give us some tassels? This wonderful man put our stage together, focused and refocused our lights, and then focused and refocused them again. Bill worked for us in this theater for hours on end with the air conditioning turned off. He made sure that we were fed. He cleans up after every performance, unplugs all of our curling irons, and throws away our banana peels, turns off all the lights, shuts the place down. He scheduled rehearsal in this theater. He held onto the key and was in charge of letting people in. He got someone in here to give us a tutorial on how to work the lights. Bill did all of this without being asked to, and then on top of that, he gives us 400% on stage as well. He is my buddy, and there is no truer friend. Bill and I also met on this very stage only 4 years ago. However, it feels like I've known you for an eternity. No offense. Quickly behind the scenes, Lisa, Bella's mom. Oh my gosh, someone give this woman a cake because I'm not sure why she doesn't have one. Superwoman, right there. I don't even know half of what you did because you just went ahead and did things on your own. The silent auction, the ticket booth, the program ads, the shout-outs, delivering posters and flyers, keeping me calm. That ever-present laugh that fueled us for every single show. Listening to what was needed and then giving everything that you could. You are the puppet master and we are your vagina puppets. Eva and Alex's mom. Thank you for handing over your children without hesitation. Thank you for bringing me kombucha and organic chips during the snack run. Thank you for all the help with the tickets. Thank you for talking about this play to your clients and getting them into our seats. Thank you for your kindness, your love, and your generosity over the years. It's very easy to see where your children get these qualities, so thank you. Matt is Emily's husband. He did so many things for us. He's taping this show right now. And I wore his tie for the band scenes. Yesterday, I think it was Friday, maybe I said, can you go get frames for us? And he's like, I'll pay for it. I said, no, take my credit card. And he came back, but then he goes, I was so excited I was going to sign a vagina. Destiny's not here tonight. She was our Destiny last night. She helped us make the transition into our gorgeous songs. Tonight is, I knew I was reading this. Serena! Thank you for being on our team. It means so much. Daryl George! Daryl George, my man friend and our lighting god. No one takes this job more seriously. Trust me on this one. Daryl volunteered like he did last year to run our lights. He had to relearn everything as the light board was totally different from last year and also from this morning. We threw him up there the night before the show and I was like, you better not get this wrong! Don't screw up the light! That's not what I want! This is what I want! Thursday night, Daryl got to meet one of my parents called Katie Kaboom. Thanks for not breaking up with me over this. And if it had been the other way around, I would have totally dumped you on the spot. You did a magnificent job, and the show was finally complete with the light being shined on us by you. Members, you are the stars of the show. Thank you for your applause, your laughter, knocking things over, your tears, and your patience. We didn't do this for you, you did this for us. So our sincerest thanks from the bottom of our gigantic hearts. Thank you.
smartest, Kate. We didn't write things down ahead of time like we should have done. But I mean, there are not enough words to express what she does for us. She not only single-handedly wrote the whole play, she was attention to detail to every single thing here, and this woman is amazing. I've worked with her for 5 years, and like we said, we love her to death. You can't say anything more than that. She's incredibly talented, and she says she's mean. She says she's mean, but she's not.
No, she's not mean at all.
Right now?
You said it all. I just want to let you know today there was a magic show during the day, but this is where the real magic happens.
Yep.
So, it's all
Revisit the auction, I can't even talk anymore, the auction room. And please tell your friends about the show. We're going to do it again in the spring. We're going to be back here. It'll be a brand new show. So please come back. It's for a really important cause. And you want to see how these guys do, right?